Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play The Revenge of Shinobi for Genesis and Mega Drive. We are on the 8th and final round of the game. And the first section is a bit of a doozy, because you got a few of these guns that you can stand on, but you can't destroy. And you definitely want to avoid the fireballs that they shoot out by any means necessary. That don't involve ducking, because it doesn't work. Thanks, game. Also, you're definitely going to have to deal with a couple of bomb-throwing soldiers. This is where the bomb-throwing guys become absolutely annoying. Because they're exactly where you don't want them to be, and they will knock you into the water that leads to instant death at the first possible opportunity. We also have the white variation of these guys that are spinning the ropes around. These guys take 3 hits to kill if you don't have powered up shurikens. So you want to watch out for that. And you can tell by my impatience that I'm really just irritated with the game. There's a lot of challenge in this game, and a lot of it involves patience. Also, to the left of this small heart is ninjutsu, a ninjutsu pickup. You will have to duck walk to get it, and then somehow leap back onto the bridge and not get hit by a fireball from that gun. Yeah, easier said than done. That's what I was saying. This game has a lot of challenge to it, and that's mostly because it just expects you to know when to go, when not to go, when to shoot a shuriken, figuring out where the enemies are. Again, it's a lot of level memorization. I know I keep bringing this up, but it just manifests itself. It just makes itself known that way through the entire game. And I had to do a double jump followed by the throwing of 8 shurikens here just to get rid of that one bomb throwing guy, which can pretty much end an entire trip through the entire first section of this round, because he can very easily knock you into the water. He can do it very, very easily. And the last crate has a large heart, which will refill all of your health. Next up is a maze. You want to pick up this power icon. Allows you to take care of these gray ninjas and that blue samurai in just 1 hit instead of 2. And you want to duck walk into this little nook here and go through the door that's inside. Be sure to take care of the ninja before you do. Take care of the flamethrower guy, and then go through the door and continue to hold right. That way, you'll land on the floor to the right. And from here, take care of this guy, jump over the door like you did to get into that nook and cranny. And you want to go down here first. You don't necessarily have to, but by going through this dark area and using your melee attack on the crates, you'll be able to get a bunch of shurikens, refill your life, and even get a 1-up too. And you can also get flame shurikens if you don't have them already. Now you want to follow the path upwards, and you want to follow it all the way to the door at the end. If you remember, if you don't want to go through a door, you want to jump over it. Otherwise, if you walk into it, you will enter it. And the only doors you can enter have the symbols on them. So you have to be careful about that. So enter this door. And from here, we're going to take care of these 2 enemies, which is a lot easier now that we have flame shurikens. And you want to double jump over this wall, drop down, and keep going to the right. You want to hold right as you drop down and enter the door on the right here. Take care of both of these ninjas. Grab both POW icons if you feel like it, and then go all the way to the left. You'll be taking on some soldiers with guns. You want to be very careful. We got hit and lost our power up, but that's okay. And as soon as you see a door on your way left, enter it. Now we're going to use the Jitsu of Izukuchi. I finally remember the name of this thing. And we're going to use it to get through this area as quickly as possible without taking a whole mess of damage. We're going to go all the way to the door on the opposite corner, And from here, jump up, shoot to the left, you'll get a power icon, and you are done with this maze. And here we are, the final battle. I'm switching to the Jitsu of Mijin, which is the 4th ninjutsu, the one that lets you blow up and destroy all enemies on screen. It won't be able to destroy the boss, but it will help later on. You want to get close and duck so that you don't get hit by his hair, and you basically have to jump into the air to avoid this guy's hair as best as you can. I got pretty lucky early on because I had the power-up icon, and I was able to avoid his hair a few times. So I got his hair to be pretty red by the time I got hit finally. Now, you're wondering why I'm shooting at this black hole in the wall there. Turns out, if you can't already tell by the background, there's your girlfriend, Naoko. And this ceiling is about to crush her. Well, if you don't keep shooting shurikens into that hole, there's one on each side, you will get the bad ending when Naoko gets crushed. And it takes a while to defeat this guy. And I actually get Izukushi ready in case it takes one more hit for me to kill him, but thankfully it doesn't. Basically, you just have to duck, attack him when he attacks you, back away, try not to get hit by his hair, throw shurikens into the black hole on either side of the room, and eventually you will be able to take this guy down. If you run low on health, be sure to use Jitsu of Mijin or Jitsu of Izukushi. I prefer Mijin in case you have a whole bunch of lives, because that way you can keep the fight going. Because even though you lose a life, you get all your health back, which is always good, even if it doesn't always damage them. And if you can manage to beat the boss before Naoko gets crushed, you get the good ending, where you stand at a cliff with Naoko by your side. If you lose, well, if you don't save Naoko in time, Naoko will be dead. Our hero will be on the cliff alone, looking into the night sky, wishing he had been faster. Basically the bad ending. And that is it for Let's Play The Revenge of Shinobi for Genesis and Mega Drive. I'm actually keeping this going. I'm actually letting it play past the ending, which goes all the way back to the Sega splash screen on its own, because there is some story info that I forgot to show off when I started this Let's Play. I knew it existed, but I got a little jumpy, got a little carried away with getting this thing started, and I didn't show this part off. So if you wait a while when it tells you to press start, you get this story. It takes place in the year 19XX, and this is 3 years after Shinobi for the arcade and the Sega Master System, where you've beaten Zeed. Your name is, of course, Joe Musashi, so you're playing as the same guy from the first game. And 3 years after you beat Zeed, the criminal organization that you've in Shinobi, Zeed came back, and they reestablished their mighty crime empire. They're now known as Neo Zeed, and they turned their efforts towards destroying entire ninja clans. Joe Musashi's clan got killed, even the chief was murdered, and the chief tells Musashi that Naoko, his bride-to-be, had been kidnapped, and now Musashi had to go after them, which is what we just did. So, glad to see that the game gives you some storyline in case you don't have the manual and you're probably wondering what was going on, because, I mean, I didn't, but you, the viewer, probably was. And with that shown off, that is the end of Let's Play The Revenge of Shinobi for Genesis and Mega Drive. How does this game fare? Well, it holds up pretty well in terms of graphics and sound, which with a lot of thanks to Yuzo Koshiro's soundtrack. Yeah, the same guy who did the soundtracks to the Streets of Rage series and Super Adventure Island and some of the East games and ActRaiser 1 and 2. He did the music for this as well, and it's really, really good. I do love the sound too. The clink of the shurikens when it hits something. the flamethrowers, the power-up sounds, the sound you get when you get an extra life. I know a lot of stuff is borrowed from Treasure Rays. That's because, well, Yuzo Koshiro did the music and pretty much provided the sounds as well. So you can't go wrong with the sounds and music of this game. Play control is pretty good. I still feel that the double jump is a bit wooden, knowing that you have to do the double jump pretty much at the top of your jump, and you just have to keep mashing the jump button over and over to get it to work. I mean, it works most of the time, but the problem is just getting the timing down. But once you do, and again, pressing the jump button repeatedly really helps, it's doable. My main gripe with this game is the challenge. The game is difficult through and through, and even on the first couple of rounds, you will have your problems trying not to get hit, trying not to lose lives. You only have like 3 continues in this game. And so trying to get through areas without dying or losing a ton of lives is definitely a challenge. Your best bet is just really play through the game over and over, know what to do, what not to do. Really memorize the levels and know where the enemies are. This game is heavy on level memorization because you really have to know where the enemies are, so that way you don't take very unnecessary damage through most of the game. And would I recommend this game? Absolutely. I would. But if you're not looking for a difficult game, you may want to hold back on this. If you do want a challenge, this one is pretty good, but it can be pretty frustrating. I will mention that. So, a very good game. Definitely a Genesis/Mega Drive classic. Plays well, sounds well, looks great. And it's held up for the most part. But it's difficult almost to the point of frustration. Even the bosses, while fun to figure out how to kill them, they can drive you insane when it comes to figuring out how to beat them. Some of some of them were pretty fun, like the round 1 samurai guy and the round 7 Godzilla/dinosaur fossil that breathed fire and tried to whack you with its tail. But the whole game through and through, it is pretty challenging. So keep that in mind in case you ever want to play through this game. Great to have in a collection, but not as great to play on your Genesis or Virtual Console or what have you, if you don't want something too difficult. But it's still a great game nevertheless. I can see why this game is pretty much cherished. And that is it for Let's Play The Revenge of Shinobi for Genesis and Mega Drive. Hope you enjoyed this Let's Play more than I enjoyed making it. This was pretty frustrating for me to play. I definitely had a few rage moments here and there, but it was definitely a pleasure and a frustration, but also a pleasure to bring this video walkthrough to you guys. I'm glad I got through this, finally, after about 20 years. So, until then, I may have another game. It may be good, it may be bad, it may be in between, who knows. This is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!